My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. What I have here is a very interesting tent. This is a first look at the brand new Cosmitto tent from OneTigris. This is the Cosmitto 2.0, and it just recently hit the market. This is a tent that I'm very interested in testing out. I'm excited to see whether or not this tent is waterproof. If you're not familiar with this line of tents, allow me to share with you all a story. Let's go back in time to 2021, where OneTigris brought to the market the Cosmitto 2-person tent. When looking at this tent for the very first time, it looked very promising. It was fairly inexpensive, it looked good, the weight was good, and the quality of the materials was good. Those were my initial thoughts of the Cosmitto tent. Once I got the tent out and actually did some testing, that's where everything fell apart. I took the tent out on a backpacking adventure, some rain came in, and the tent filled with water. It had a serious problem. And once I got back from that trip, I began hearing from viewers who purchased the tent who had the exact same problem that I did. The tent was leaking from the vents at the top of the tent, even when the vents were closed. It was either a defect or a design flaw that took place around those vents. Taking into account the issues that I had and the issues that my viewers had, I contacted OneTigris and informed them of the problems. And I suggested to them they should take this product off of the market because there's a problem. To put it plainly, the tent was not waterproof. It was unsafe to use. Just in case you don't know, everyone, thanks to the testing that's done on my channel, numerous products have been taken off the market, products have been recalled, and entire tent lines have been canceled due to the testing that we do here. The companies that I'm talking about here took positive action in regards to a defect due to a problem with their tents. In other words, it was the right thing to do. Take the product off of the market and keep people safe. Prevent people from purchasing those products until they could correct the issues. Unfortunately, OneTigris did not pull the Cosmitto tent off of the market. In fact, it continued to be on sale for numerous years. That's not to say that they didn't agree with my assessment and the assessments of others. They knew that the tent leaked. They knew that it had a problem. So they put up on their website a disclaimer that says that the tent should only be used in very light rain, no heavy rain. In my opinion, that's not good enough. That wasn't good enough. They should have removed that tent from the market, but they didn't. I personally thought this was a mistake. I thought it was wrong, but the company did what they wanted to do. Let's fast forward in time to the end of 2022 in December. I received a message from a viewer who says, "Hey Luke, there's a new version of the Cosmitto tent on the OneTigris website." So I head over to the OneTigris website, and sure enough, there's the version 2.0. When I went to the website and I looked over all of the information concerning the tent, nothing had changed. It even had the same warning: use this tent only in very light rain. My mind was absolutely blown. Why would OneTigris just make a different version of this tent that's still not waterproof? So I contacted the company. I asked them why. When they replied, they let me know that the information on the website was for the previous version of the tent. Already there was 2 reviews for the previous version of the tent, not the newest one. In a nutshell, this is what the company did. They took the original listing for the Cosmitto tent and just updated it with new pictures, but they forgot about all the information. After I contacted them, they corrected the information on the website, and I can tell you that this tent is different. There are 4 main areas of differences between the new version and the old version, and in this episode, we'll talk about those differences. With that being said, everyone, let's take a moment here, let's set this tent up, let's look at the components, and then we'll talk about the differences between the version 2 compared to the version 1. If you purchase this tent, this is what you're going to receive. You get the storage bag, you have a pull down at the bottom, draw pull up here at the top. I should mention this, everyone. When it comes to OneTigris shelters, they don't put the name of the shelter on the storage bag, and I absolutely hate that. If you have one OneTigris tent, you're fine. If you have a bunch of these, you have no idea which one is which. So you have to basically write on the storage bag what the product is. Otherwise, you'll get them confused. This is annoying. OneTigris, put the name of the product on the storage bag, please. By the way, everyone, when I received this tent after I purchased it, I did open it up. That's why it looks a little mangled. I wanted to confirm that it was the version 2, not the version 1. This is the version 2. While I haven't set up the tent, I did look at it. In this bag, we have the tent stakes and the guy lines. 4 guy lines and 10 tent stakes. Next, folks, we have the tent poles. It looks like we have 1 spider pole and 1 cross pole. Lastly, we have the fly, and we have the tent body. Before I put the fly on, everyone, I want you all to see the design of the inner here. We have a spider pole that goes across the top of the tent. We have the cross member. This tent is a two-person. It has 2 doors. Each of the doors features an upside-down T design. You can see that the tent has a bathtub floor that goes around the body. On the sides, it's very aggressive. On the inside of the tent, you have 2 large mesh pockets, one at each end. You have a hanging hook up at the top. The tent features a ton of mesh, and the seams for the body have been taped. This, my friends, is what the Cosmitto tent looks like when you have the fly on. For now, let's focus here on the door for a second. You can see here that you have a storm flap that goes over the zipper. You have a placement of Velcro at the top, and you also have one down at the bottom to hold that flap into place. With this tent, we have 2-way zippers. One zipper's down at the bottom, one zipper's at the top. When you undo the zipper at the top, you're actually opening up a vent. Behind this flap is this little pole right here. You can use this to hold open that flap, and this makes a vent. We have the same features and the vent on the other side as well. As far as the doors go, as you can see here, they can be rolled up and stowed out of the way. You could do just one, or you can do both. You could do the same on the other side of the tent as well. Between the tent and the fly, you have quite a bit of space for gear. You have 4 guy line loops. And check this out, everyone. This is a big, important feature. And it's amazing how many companies miss this, even the big ones. The side of the tent pulls away from the body. That way you get extra airflow. That's going to help with staying cool and also with condensation. Additionally, folks, each of the stakeout points on the fly feature a reinforcement. By the way, the fly connects to the body with buckles. All right, my friends, let's go over some stats real quick. Again, this is a 2-person, 2-door tent. It is partially freestanding, but the doors do have to be staked out. As far as the materials go, let's start with the fly. The company claims this is a 20 denier plaid ripstop polyester. I've never heard that before. Plaid ripstop, that's new. The bottom of the tent is a 70 denier nylon. The mesh is a 40 denier nylon. The tent features YKK zippers, 7001 aluminum poles, and you have aluminum tent stakes. As far as the dimensions go, this tent is 6.9 feet long, 4.3 feet wide, and it is 3.6 feet tall. As I mentioned, everyone, this is a big tent. When it's stored, you're looking at 20.5 inches by 6.7 inches. The weight of this tent on my scale is 5.2 pounds. It is available in 2 colors, gray and coyote brown. The price on this tent is very impressive. It's only $170. As far as the differences go between this version and the previous model, I contacted OneTigris to find out what they are, and this is what they state. They changed the design of the tent structure to match that of the Skyena, as that provides more space. They removed the top vents and moved them to the door. They added 3D interior pockets at the top, which the older version did not have. Lastly, they improved the water resistance from 1500 to 2000 millimeters. And those are the changes that have taken place with the new Cosmitto tent. And now I'll share with you all my impressions of this tent so far. Overall, the setup process is super simple. The grommets are a little bit large for where the poles go into, so oftentimes you have the pole pop out on one side as you're going to insert on the other side. I hate that. This is a characteristic of OneTigris tents. This happens often with their shelters. In the end, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a minor annoyance. But overall, the setup process is super simple. You throw down the body, stake it out if you need to, if it's going to be windy, pop in the poles, fly, buckle it into place, stake it, adjust it, you're done. It is very, very simple. As far as the quality goes, I have to say this, I'm very impressed. This tent looks excellent. Every seam is perfect. There's no loose threads. The seam tape looks excellent. The zippers are super smooth. As far as what I can see with my eyes and touch with my hands, everything looks great here. That doesn't mean this tent's not going to leak. We have to test it out. But from that perspective, everything here looks really, really good. Especially when you consider the price on this. $170? This is no small tent. This is gigantic. For $170, I'm super, super impressed. As long as it's waterproof. If OneTigris has a tent here that's this inexpensive, this large, this well made, and it's waterproof, they will have a hit on their hands. They will have a product that other companies will have a hard time competing against. As far as my concerns go, naturally I'm concerned about waterproofing. I am concerned about the vents. Not so much that they're going to leak because I've seen this design before, but I'm more concerned about airflow. Yes, the sides of the tent do pull away and that's good, but that only helps so much. So a question is, how bad is the condensation going to be with this tint? That's because you don't have any upper vents. I don't know. It may not be that big of a deal. And that's because the fly pulls away from the body rather nicely and doesn't come into contact with the sides. That really does help a lot when it comes to condensation control. In the end, there's only one way to find out, and that's to test this tint out. Speaking of which, my friends, the very first test night with this tint will be coming up very soon. So stay tuned. I cannot wait to see how well this tint performs. I suspect that it's going to perform very well. I can't imagine that the company hasn't thoroughly tested this out. But we shall see. We'll see together. If it fails, I'll show you where and how and why. It's now your turn to sound off in the comment section down below. Share your thoughts. What do you all think about this tint? While you're down there, hit the thumbs up. It does help the channel. And make sure to subscribe to a channel that's completely agenda free. I'm here to share information. I'm not here to sell this tint like other channels. I'm going to give it to you all straight. Everyone, I'm done. Take care, be well, strength and honor.